Good morning, grade 2. Here we are for some lessons on math, and then we'll talk a little bit about science and social studies. Today we're going to talk about time. What can you do in 1 second? I can snap my fingers. I can also count. If I go kind of slow, like not really fast, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But if I think about how a second hand on a clock goes tick, 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 tick. So if I'm counting in a consistent manner, I can say one number in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, what would happen if I counted to 60? Well, if I did that in a way where each number I said took me about a second, I would be doing something that takes me a minute. What takes you a minute to do? How many times don't we say, give me a second? And we really mean a lot longer than that, or just a minute, and then maybe it's 5 or 10. I can think of something that each of you do in a minute, your time tests. And oftentimes you're done less than a minute. It's kind of fun sometimes. Remember those little trials that Mr. Rosner would give us? So you'd put your head down and you'd have to see if you could raise your hand when you thought 1 minute was up. Maybe try that with your family today, okay? See if they get a minute right on the dot, or if you get a minute right on the dot. And then let's think about what are some things that take us an hour? What are some things that take us an hour? Maybe grocery shopping takes an hour. Maybe your grandma and grandpa live 1 hour away from you and it takes you that long to drive there. Think of some things that take you an hour. And now we're going to talk about telling time to the nearest hour and minute. So far in time, going to get my clock here, we've been doing to the nearest hour. So let's say, for example, exactly at 9 o'clock, right? Okay. And our minute hand is directly up at the 12 and our hour hand goes across to the 9. We've also done to the nearest half hour, like 9:30. And remember, as our minute hand goes, our hour hand is moving as well, just like on a regular clock, okay? And so when we're halfway around the clock, our hour hand is halfway between the numbers. The closer we get to the next hour, the closer our hour hand gets to that next hour number. So remember that when you're drawing your hands to show the time on the clock. Well, what about 9:37? We've done that too, to the nearest 5 minutes. So 9:37, we just move it 5 more minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That would be 9:35. Notice our hour hand moved a little bit closer to the 10. What about 9:50? So if we get even closer, see that hour hand moving? 9:50, whoa, look at that. The hour and the minute hand are almost one on top of each other, aren't they? Okay, so think about that as you're showing the time. Now, one of the times I would like us to think about is 10:01. So here we are at 10, and if you notice on your clock that you have here, and if you notice on your worksheet, you have a worksheet to do today as well. Look for those little knobs, those little lines there, those little ticks, okay? And at every fifth one, you'll notice that it's a number. Here's 5, here's 10. So if I want to do 10:01, here's 10 o'clock right straight up to the top. If I want to do 10:01, I have to go one tick or one line past that. Is it going to be really important to draw your lines accurately? Yes, it is. So take your time. And remember, our minute hand is always the longer. So do a connect the dot type of thing. From your middle dot, connect your minute hand right to that line that it is going to be represented by, okay? And then your hour hand, you look how close it is. It's right at the 10. Hasn't really gone past the 10 at all. Let's try 10:27. So 27, well, that's close to 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm going to go to 25, and then I have to go 2 more spots, 26, 27. And that's where I would draw my line to connect my dots. This dot here and this line at 26, 27, 2 marks after the 5, after the 25 spot, okay? 10:27. How about 6:12? Ooh, time is going to fly here. Zippity zip, 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 zip. Well, I know my hour hand is going to be past the 6 a little bit. There's 5, there's 10, and then again I'm going to go 2 more. 1, 2, 6:12. So again, my hour hand is shorter, just past the 6. My minute hand, I draw a line to connect my middle circle and the line that's at the end. 2 spots after the 10 because 10, 11, 12. Let's try 4:37. This time is going to go backwards. We're going back in time, 5 o'clock. Wait a minute, I don't want to go all the way back to 4 o'clock. I know that this would be just after 4, 35, 36, 37. Again, look how close my hour hand is to the 5. Keep that in mind as you are drawing your hands to show the time. And then 2 tick marks after the 7s representing the 35 minutes, 36, 37. Let's try 2:54, going back in time again. 2:54. So this one I'm going to show you. Here's 2 o'clock. Watch this hand move. I'll try to keep my hand out of the way. Watch it move. There's 2:30, 2:40, 2:45, 2:50, 51, 2:52, 2:53, 2:54. Wow, that hour hand is almost exactly on the 3. And then our minute hand would be 1 tick, 1 line in front of where we would have 55 minutes, right at the 11, 2:54. And our last one, 11:06. Oh, we'll go forward. My goodness, time flies when you're having fun. So here's 11 o'clock, 11:06. So here's 11:05. 11:06 is going to be 1 more. So here my hour hand is almost exactly still on the 11. And my minute hand, I draw a line to connect the center and the little line that is just past the 5 mark. So that would be number 6. If you count, you'll notice that there are 60 little marks around your clock, okay? So as you're doing your worksheet with that, as you're doing your worksheet with that, on the top 3, you have times that you have to tell. All right, they show you a clock and they show you the hands for that, and you have to show what hour and minutes it is, okay? And remember that the hour is always, what number is it past? What number is it past? And then on the bottom 3, they show you a time, and they expect you to draw the hands, the hour and the minute hand to show that. Feel free to have a parent or an older sibling help you with this one, or double check it with you. And then I do want you to take a picture of that and send that to me as well. And then do lesson 106 side A and have someone check that, and then do lesson 106 side B, and that one you send me a picture of. You also have 100 problem, I believe, time test today, fact test, all right, with all of those subtraction facts. And remember that that one gets timed for 5 minutes. God's blessings on that. Do as well as you can. Now let's talk a little bit about science. Today probably is going to be the last day that you had to do your weather report. If you want to keep doing that and keeping track of the weather to see what happens in spring here, you're certainly welcome to. But now it's time to go to your weather paper. And on the back, it asks you to tell whether the weather over this past week was different or about the same. So you circle which one it is, and then write a sentence about the weather that you had, not at your school this week, but at your home. What was the weather like at your home? Tell me some things about it. And a sentence, you guys can write 2 or 3 sentences. Look at all the space they give you there. And then would you please take a copy of that? I also activated the test for this. And it's sometimes kind of fun to go and see what you remember. Feel free to read the publication again, just with your paper, or you can go on Studies Weekly again and then try the test, see how well you do. Please start reading space. All right, and here we're talking about the moon, and that goes along so well with what we've been talking about in our reading book. Today, take a test on spelling city for your spelling words for the moon. And then you can certainly do some activities first or practice before you do that. But then do this page here. Give yourself time to do it. It doesn't have to be finished today. You can work on it today, tomorrow, or Friday. Next week, we'll start the one about the sun. But try the upside down drink. I would love to see a video of you doing the upside down drink, and then you have some blanks to fill in on the bottom. So again, try to get it done by the end of the day Friday or something like that, and send me pictures or videos of what you've done with that. Thank you. And then in our social studies for Studies Weekly, you should be finished with American culture. Send me a picture of the back, what you did there. Okay, and then I also activated the test for that. Remember, anytime you're taking a test on Studies Weekly, I allow you to use your papers. So whether it's for science or social studies, use your papers to help you get the right answer. That's an important skill to have for reading as well. And then I think next week we'll start government, okay? So don't worry about doing government this week. If you want to get started, I'm okay with that, all right? We've been doing a lot of government things with that. I did activate the test on the couple that we did just before this because they were about American symbols and about our culture. So those are activated. See if you can take those 2 tests. You should have those papers at home to help you with that. And now have a great day. I look forward to hearing your memory treasure tomorrow. Bye-bye.